Welcome everyone to today's Believe meeting. Good afternoon and happy weekend to everyone. I'm just waiting for more members to join before we start the meeting officially. And once it's 5 minutes after 4, we'll kickstart the meeting officially. While we wait, kindly share to your friends that you feel they can benefit from this. Everybody can benefit actually because money is important to everyone. So kindly help share this. I promise to be of time and projects. So this is 4 5. So I'm trying to connect on my other system, but since network is bad there, I think we'll just go on with the meeting. So welcome again to yet another exciting Vanguard Africa. This thing doesn't want people to see my face. So another exciting Vanguard African village meeting. And as you all know, anything that has named the Vanguard Africa in it promises to be so much value. And today will be no exception. Today we'll be continuing our financial literacy series because we are committed to listening leaders that are not just leaders. While we go into the days of the day proper, I will have to start with a word of prayer. So let's close our eyes for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you have done for us. We bless your holy name for our convergence today. We ask that you imbue us all with wisdom to comprehend and to utilize all that we'll be learning, unlearning, and relearning today. We thank you for our facilitators, and we pray that you add to them in every facet of their lives. I pray that you bless everybody abundantly. Thank you for the Vanguard Africa. I pray that we continue to grow in every way and be the very best you want us to be. Okay, yes. I don't know. I think I'm eating very much. Can anyone see me, please? Blessing, can you confirm you can see me? Vanguard Blessing.
Good evening, sir. Yes, I can see you, sir.
Connect with the other place, but it's not, and I want you to see my face. So so I can see the exact thing because it's always a joy, it's always happiness to be here at the Vanguard Africa. And I am really honored to be talking with the future leaders, not just future leaders, even the leaders of the present, because that's what we are at TVA. Everybody is a vanguard, everybody is a leader. And like I said in the introduction, we will be continuing our financial literacy series once again today. And the topic for today will be that is about the role of philanthropy in world building. That is, we'll be looking at how philanthropists, how through their philanthropy they get their wealth, and also the connection between stinginess and poverty. And I don't know, maybe you people missed us because last week there was no village meeting and none of the members even reached out to know what went wrong. Didn't you miss the value we give out on a consistent basis? I don't know what went wrong, but then from the TVA Congress, undergraduate Congress to the beginning of our financial literacy series, that is the book we reviewed, and to the masterclass, I think we've been feeding people value back to back. We missed the week and nobody could even reach out to like, what's wrong? Why are these people not doing a village meeting? Well, if you people don't miss us, we missed you and we are back. We are really glad to be back here to continue our financial literacy series because, like I said, we are really passionate about everybody making it because we are concerned about all facets of life actually. And that's why we are taking finances very seriously. So, like I said, we are taking the role of philanthropy in world building or feeling the hidden connection between stinginess and poverty. And we have two very powerful facilitators taking this topic. And we have Vanguard Blessing back here that will be taking the introductory parts, while Vanguard's Top Global, I don't know who that is, will be taking the other parts. So while I get my connection on the other device running, I will hand over the stage to Vanguard Blessing for her to take us on the first part on the topic, the role of philanthropy in world building, the hidden connection between stinginess and poverty. Thank you very much. Vanguard Blessing, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Vanguard, Toby. And good evening once again. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I believe we are all happy to be here too. I briefly tender my apologies. I'll be unable to make use of my camera. I was thinking I'll get home on time before the meeting, but I couldn't. And my environment is a little bit busy. So, but I trust that the environment will not disturb the meeting too much. And once again, my name is Blessing Bakari, and I'll be taking the first part of our topic today. That is the role of philanthropy in wealth building. And the second part, the connection between stinginess and poverty, will be taken by Vanguard Tobiloba. Although they are kind of intertwined, but I believe that what we'll be sharing today will be beneficial in one way or the other. And I hope that we pay attention and we take one or two things from today's meeting. So once again, I'd like to say thank you to Vanguard Africa for giving me this opportunity. And I hope we learn from today's meeting. If you could hear me, could just kindly type it in the box so that I can know that we are together. Okay, while we wait for that, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peace. Thank you so much. So going into today's topic, the role of philanthropy in wealth building, right? So we want to know how the act of philanthropy helps in wealth building. Then before going deeply into the topic, I'd like to define certain terms or salient terms in the topic. And the first is philanthropy. Now, the Oxford Dictionary defines philanthropy as the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by generous donation of money to good cause. Now, in the definition, there's important words or keywords that I want us to pay attention to. Number one is the word desire. Number two is the word to promote the welfare of others. And number three is that it is expressed by what generous donation. And number four is it is towards a good cause. Now, the word desire helps us to see that philanthropy is not just an act of show. It's not just an act that is done, okay, so that it will be like, okay, we are part of those doing good. Or it is not just an act, it is not just done to fill in the gap. No, it is actually done out of a passion, right? That's actually the people that engage in this act do it from their heart. They do it from a heart to cater for the welfare of others. And it shows that they have that desire and they don't just sit down having those desire and keep on wishing. They engage in doing something. That is why it is expressed through general donation. So in having that heart, it is now seen by what they do, and what they do is towards a good cause. Now this helps us to see that those that engage in philanthropy do it out of passion. Now, the Investopedia defined it as an activity that involves charitable giving to the worthy cause on a large scale. It went further to say it is beyond a charitable donation, but it also affects it, it is also an effort based on an altruistic desire to improve human welfare. We see that word desire again. And it's concluded by saying anyone can be a philanthropist if they give their talent, time, money, and skill. Now, this also opens our eyes to see that um, as a philanthropist, it doesn't have to necessarily be that you give money in large quantity. It could be your time, it could be your skill, it could be your talent, right? It doesn't have to, it's not restricted to only money. And then I love the way the Merriam Webster dictionary puts it. It defines philanthropy as the spirit of goodwill towards all people, especially expressed in active effort to help others. Now, this helps us to also see what has been explained earlier, that it is beyond just an activity, but it's an activity from a place of passion to reach out to others. Now, let us go to the word wealth. Now, Cambridge Dictionary defined wealth as a large amount of money or valuable possession that someone has. Yes. Now, it further defines it as a large amount of something good. Now, I love the second definition because it doesn't restrict it only to money. So, it's, for instance, now someone could have a large can have good numbers of land, could have cattle, could have farmlands, and that person can be accredited as someone that is wealthy. Also, it boils down to someone having a good name, and such person is recognized for it because good name also build open doors for people, right? Now, before going down to how philanthropy helps in build wealth, let us look at some of the examples of some philanthropists around the world. Number one that I have on my list is Mother Teresa. Now, Mother Teresa was not a billionaire, but she set up an organization to provide vulnerable communities with material and spiritual welfare. Now, from this, we see that although Mother Teresa was not the billionaire type, yet she looked for ways on how she could help and to give back to our society, right? Also, Andrew Carnage, he is known as the most famous philanthropist, and he gives immensely towards building libraries all over the world. Now, this also helps us to see, yes, that the act of philanthropy is not restricted to giving money alone. It could just be you seeing a particular challenge in the society and wanting to provide solution to it. So I believe that Andrew saw a knowledge problem. He wanted people to know more, and he decided to solve that problem by building more libraries around the world. Now, in Nigeria, we have Folorunsho Alakija, who is the founder of Rose of Shalom Foundation, which focuses on helping the widows and the orphans. Yes, this also buttresses the fact that it doesn't have to be restricted to money alone. Now, our famous Tony Elumelu, who focuses on helping entrepreneurs in Africa and around the world. Now, during this year, the Vanguard Africa engaged in a biography series, which helped us to see that most of all these distinct personality, most of all those people that has impacted the society in one way or the other, most of them did not start from a very wealthy background, in quotes. Most of them actually started from a humble background. Also, if we look into this life of this personality that I've mentioned, this philanthropist and more others, we can also see that most of them did not start from most of them started from a humble background. However, as they advanced in life, they also ensured to figure a way out in which they could give back to others. So we don't have to wait till we have it all. We don't have to wait till we are billionaires before we can actually look for ways to give out to others. Now, this their singular act did not only help them to fulfill that desire, beginning from them, going back to where we started from, that the act of philanthropy, it is not just to show to people. No, it is actually from a place of passion, a place of desire to solve a particular problem, to help a certain people in the society. So it did not just help them to fulfill those desires, but in helping others, it also helped them in turn to build wealth, both in good name and monetary wise. So it helped them to build a good name. We also saw that wealth is not limited also to just money. It could also be in form of a good name. So it also in turn helped them to build wealth when it comes to the monetary aspect also. Now, having explained all of this, let us now look at few benefits of philanthropy, or how philanthropy helps in wealth building. Number one is that it gives you a good name. For instance, I remember while I was quite young, I can't remember the story clearly, but I remember that there was this teacher in school that was very, very benevolent and good to students. And I think he was giving us an example of having good character, and he gave us an example of when his daughter wanted to actually seek a good job, why she went to the office of those that she was to relate with, and mentioning his name only actually paved way for her in getting that job. So we can see that good name, it opens doors that we might not even imagine. If her father was known to be someone that is not benevolent and kind to others, that name would have probably not opened that door for her. And that door brings employment and it brings wealth, right? So it gives us good name. Now, number two is that it promotes your brand and gives you more customer. Now, going to the aspect of entrepreneurs or companies that are engaged in philanthropic activity, once they are engaged in this through their brand name, they just pick out days where they just reach out to a certain number of people. It makes people to know them more. It makes people to know their brand. It makes people to recognize their brand more. And it also encourages people that these people are not just about the money. They are not just about to get money from us. They care about us. So it also boosts their customers. Number three is that you benefit from the law of karma. Now, the law says that whatever thoughts or energy you put out, you get it back. It could either be good or bad. Now, once you engage in philanthropic activity, that is a good energy. That is a good activity that you are engaging yourself in, and eventually it might not be from the same source that you reached out to, but eventually you will reap what you have sown. Number 4 is that it attracts people of like minds, and it helps you to build positive and productive relationship. We all know that networking is one big way that we could that could actually open doors for us that we might not have imagined. Someone very important to me always says this. He said that 2 things determine how far you go in life: the people you meet and the places you go. Right now, being a philanthropist helps you to build people of like minds. It helps you to build people that care about others. It helps you to build people that want to make impact as you do. It helps you to build sound relationship among people, and this could also open doors both financially also. Now, number 5 is it opens you up to prayers and blessings of those around you. Proverbs 11 verse 10 says, when the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. We have always come across circumstances that when people are good to us, we just bless them from our hearts. And yes, we might look as though those blessings are little. No, they go a long way also. Yeah, they go a long way. Just saying a simple prayer, like, God bless you, for this particular person could open doors for that person. So being a philanthropist opens you to blessings from people around you, prayers from people around you. Now, another good example is maybe when you are doing a particular celebration, maybe birthday party, or you might not even be doing any particular occasion, but people will just want to give back to you. And even during our birthdays, we tend to receive gifts from people that we might not even expect. They just want to give back because we have been a blessing to them. And the last on my list is that it helps you to break tax. Now, looking at the company income tax, presently, for companies earning over 100 million naira, they pay a tax of 30%. While for companies that earn 25 to 100 million, pay tax of 20. And that is quite a lot. Companies spend a lot of money on paying tax. Now, a good example of how being a philanthropist helps in breaking tax is Aliko Dangote. Now, between 2019 and 2021, the federal government had forgone 16.76 trillion in revenue to tax relief and concession to large companies, and Dangote Refinery was one of the companies that benefited from this. Why? Because we all know that Aliko Dangote is someone that engaged in philanthropic activity. For instance, during the COVID-19 period, he partnered with Access Bank to launch the coalition against COVID-19, and he also supported the Nigerian government in combating the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll be rounding up now. Now, this helps us to see that, yes, while engaging in philanthropic activities, could, as a company, could also help you to reduce some of the tax. Aliko Dangote is a beneficiary of that. Now, going in conclusion, we can be a philanthropist right from where we are. We don't have to wait till we are billionaires or we have the whole money in the whole world to start reaching out to people. Look around you, figure out a challenge and look for a way to solve it. You can give your time, your skill, your energy, and money for a good cause. You could forever be remembered in the heart of that young boy for getting water for him while he was thirsty, or in the heart of your neighbor, your colleague, your classmate who you knew needed a listening ears, and you gave it. And you also gave a word of encouragement, which was very helpful to them. In these little ways, you are sowing good seed and you will reap them back. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, he shall reap. So when we engage in those little activities from now, it will also even help us to build that character or that attitude of giving, that when we are now up there, when we are billionaires, it will not be hard. It will be so easy for us to give. All these philanthropies that we've seen, they have started it a long while. And while they have much, it was easy for them to give also. So we could look for one way or the other that we could be a blessing to our society. And as we do, I believe that great doors will be open to us. Thank you.
Wow, that was mind blowing. I don't even know what to say. At this point, I just feel we should just end the meeting because it seems she has covered the ground already. Thank you very much, and God bless me, for this sagacious presentation on the topic, because this is really, really much. I don't even know what I want to say any longer because it's like she has taken over my script and she mentioned them already. But at the same time, I'll try to go right again. So please give a round of applause in the comment section. I know you learned something, and I hope you guys are writing. I didn't see that. Please, this is not just. We're not just here to waste anyone's time. We are really here to like learn how to apply this thing, right? And these principles, they actually works. While I will give my presentation, I'll be giving practical experiences that this thing actually works. It's the principle of the universe. And when we call something principle, it's something that works, the universal principle. Like, it's one of those rare things that you see the holy books talking about them. The Bibles, the Quran, all this Buddhism, self-help people like Brian Tracy, Rhonda Byrne, they write books about them. It's a universal concept. And when you look at the billionaires, like she was giving the example the other time, these people actually practice these things and it works for them. So it's not just, we're not just here to take notes. So like I said, she has taken the most part. Normally, I was supposed to take the other part of really the connection between stinginess and poverty. But like he said in the beginning, these topics, they are both intertwined. It's just like, I don't know if you still remember inverse proportion when we were doing secondary school maths. Like, if there's the role of philanthropy in world building, then there will also be a connection between stinginess and poverty. So I can't take the other without mentioning the former one. Though she has covered the fields, I'll just go through some concepts all over again and show that we can pick, because there's really nothing to talk about in the connection between stinginess and poverty. It's from the role of philanthropy in well-being that okay, there's actually a connection between stinginess, because they are inversely proportional. If some people are giving to charity, they are giving things and they are building roads, then those people that are not giving automatically, they are building poverty. So that's just it. In my own short presentation, I'll be delving into principles from the Bible, religious text, and books, because I actually read a lot of books. And there's even a book I would have recommended that we should do a review on later on. But let's just go on. And the sources of God. So the first principle I'm talking about is the principle of abundance and giving. That's the principle. This is one of the fundamental principles that underpin and show the connection between philanthropy and world building. And that is the idea of abundance. You will see this in almost all spiritual books and self-help books. I'll be giving some facets of the Bible later. There's a book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. It's a book I recommend for everyone to read. The principle in the book is that the more you give, the more you receive. When you are generous, you send a message to the universe that you are more than enough, and in turn you attract abundance. And also, I apologize for not being able to turn on my camera again. I couldn't connect on my other device, and this device is currently very low, so I don't think I'll be able to turn on the camera. So I apologize for that. So, as I was saying, in the realm of philanthropy, this principle is also referred to as a law of reciprocity, because the act of giving not only benefits the recipient, but also creates a positive energy loop that attracts more abundance into the giver's life. I don't know if I should delve into this example now, or I should just give the presentation I want, because, like I said, Vanguard Blessing has almost covered all ground. To show that this law of reciprocity works, I'll use the practical example. I have not even started like preparing for this presentation when this occurred to me, and I was like, wow. When I was now working on it, I was like, this thing actually applied to me, and that means this thing works. So I think it was on Thursday in school, or was it Wednesday? I was in school actually. And waking up that morning, I knew there was a lot on my plate. I had to do a lot. I am already like late. I've even passed the deadline, even more than late for some of the works I'm doing, and my final year thesis actually. So the goal that day was just to go to school, enter the library, and work on these things. Even though I was confused as to some certain concepts, I just went, okay, because I just feel, okay, let me just go to school to focus on this thing. But on getting to school that day, I don't know, one of my classmates just came that I should come and help her review her homework that a lecturer rejected it. And I was like, me that I've not even worked on my own, I should help you. But I just don't know. I just said, okay, let me help this and lady. So I helped her with the whole stuff. I reviewed it and she submitted to her supervisor. And the person actually, the proposal got approved. So I was left battling with my own. All of a sudden, someone that I didn't even speak to just called me all of a sudden, and the person started offering me guidance on how I will write my own proposal. I don't know if you check, I did that for someone and someone I didn't even talk to. It's just, that's what they call the law of reciprocity. Like once you give out, it comes, and that's why people used to say karma is real. My own was just very, very fast. I gave the first day and I received the next day from someone else entirely. So yes, like I said, there are religious teachings on giving. Many religious texts emphasize the importance of giving as a means of world building. For example, in Christianity, the Bible contains numerous passages that actually advocate for generosity. Proverbs 11:25 states, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Can you see that? Once you refresh others, you'll be refreshed. It's a universal principle. Another very instructive verse of the Bible is found. I remember this when I was in the children department. This is one of the memory verses we were forced to learn then. It's found in Luke 6:38. It said, give and it shall be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured unto you. If you give people halfly, you will collect half from people. And if you give people fully, then people will give back to you. That's just the principle of life. And it's also like the main thing people do when it comes to tithing too. Once you give to God, God will give back to you. That's just it. You can see it in the Bible. Similarly, I'm not a Muslim, but then when I was doing my research in Islam, I don't know, I think I saw Mr. Raji here. It can confirm to this. There's a concept called is it zakat? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. It means charity. It is one of the pillars, 5 pillars of Islam. So even Muslims themselves are required to give a portion of their wealth to those in need. It is believed that this act of charity purifies the giver's wealth and in return brings prosperity and blessings. So those are the two major religions in the world, and they actually supported that philanthropy and wealth building are very connected. So giving is not just a moral obligation, but it's also a spiritual obligation, and it's a way of inviting abundance and blessing. Another thing is the ripple effect of generosity. Yeah, I'm not getting to the book. I said I'll be, even if you don't have enough time to like review it, I think everybody should read the book. It's the book called The Go-Giver by Bob Bog and John David Mann. Like, I didn't sleep yesterday night. I was just reading this book. I read it a long time ago, but then preparing for this, I just had to read the book again. It just shows how when we give, it comes back in unexpected ways. Like, you might lose sight of your own goal, just help someone else. Helping someone else will just come back, and it will come back to help your own cause. I don't know if I can just give, because those are the kind of books I love. Yeah, a book that it's a self-help books, but then it was written in a fictional way, it's like a story of a person. But then these principles of philanthropy was explained in there. We have a person, I don't know, most people used to call themselves a go-getter. When we're always praising people, that guy is a go-getter. But in the book, they demystify that a go-getter is not something to be proud of. You have to be a go-giver. Instead of you trying to get from life, you have to give. You chasing things actually, as there's a limit to where you can reach when you are continuing, I want to chase my goals. You only see your goals, you don't want to see any other thing. But people that tend to like just give to people, they are the one that get the effort. Like, yes, if you are go-getting, you will rise, but there's a limit, there's a ceiling that you can't rise above if you don't learn to give. So that's what the book actually talked about. I would have loved to like talk about the book, but I'm trying to check the time. I know I still have time, but what I have read is quite much. I don't know whether I should just go into the story of the book. Okay, I think I'll just, if there is time, I'll come back to that. But then I'll type it in the chat box. I even have a soft copy that I can send to the membership groups. The Go-Giver by Bob Bog and John David Mann. It's a book everyone should read. And there are 5 laws of success in the book, actually. The first one is the law of value, which states that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. That's it. So it's saying that if you actually want to achieve, if you want to like have the world, you have to give more than you take. Most people in this life are just people that are after what they will get from people, what they will take. But billionaires, I know Blessing has given some examples already. I'll be giving some other examples. The same, almost the same person, but then in another light. So it's how much more you give, it's not how much you take. If we are from the book, it was saying if you create a business that because of profit, because of what you want. I know that's what they teach us in business class. Even in a lot of companies, they say that you form a company to make a profit. People that make a company to just make a profit, actually, there's a limit to what they can do. Most of them, these are the kind of companies, they used to say like only 8 out of 10 businesses die after 5 days because most of them are only focused on profits. The businesses that have survived over the generations and the Fortune 500 companies are companies that are solving human problems. They are focused about giving. I'm only talking beyond the scope of what I have here, but then that's just how important. Take Elon Musk, for example, now. Elon Musk is very rich because his major goal is not only about himself. He will check his vision. His vision says he is to take humanity to the next stage of civilization. So it's about helping, like Blessing said, it's not really about making money. Most of these people, they don't really focus on money. And I think we explained this concept too when we were discussing with that project about a month ago. When you chase money, there's limits to it. Money is just like a carrot dangling before a carrot, dangling before a donkey. It can only lead you somewhere that you won't prefer. But when you chase something beyond money, that's Elon Musk's vision, and that's why he's the richest man in the world now, because that's his value. His value is about giving what? There's nothing he can't take on because he actually plans on taking, and he's already doing that. I'm going off prayer, but then I'm just trying to like give copious examples. He's taking humanity to Mars. He's doing all these crazy things because he's believing that he wants to give back to humanity. That's his major focus. So yes, when you engage in philanthropy, you create a ripple effect of generosity and goodwill. By giving back to your people, your community, you actually help the society, and it also helps you yourself. There's also a science called the science of reciprocity. And this one, I read the book Influence, Psychology of Persuasion by psychologist Robert Cialdini. And there are about, I think, 8 laws of influencing people there. And one of them is reciprocity. I don't know if you've ever tried this. For example, now you walk up to someone you've never talked to, you've never asked, you've never offered any help, or you've not even greeted before, and just say, lend me something. The person won't give you. Why? Because there's no connection. You've never actually given anything. But if it's someone that, okay, has been coming to meet you regularly, you've been, okay, offering this help and this. Even when you go to meet the person, even if the person is not in a comfortable situation to give you, but because the person feels is indebted to you, they'll go out of their way to give you what you want. And you used to say, Entoba domi, siwaju man tele tutu. I don't know if how you, but I think I'm saying, yeah, it just means if you want to step on wet ground, you have to pour water on the floor. So that means why philanthropy actually works is that people that give to charity, that give to people, it actually makes people indebted to them. For example, now, all these billionaires that give to charity, yes, they are giving out of a good mind. They are giving because of this principle. But then, when governments, like Blessing was explaining the other time, when government wants to give pardon to people, they won't give to just the selfish billionaires. They will give to people that know they have been giving to people already. It's just, that's it. That's how the world goes. I was in a class the other day, the dean of my class was saying, this life is about giving and taking. You can only take after you've given. So if you are just about taking without giving, then you'll end up frustrated. So that's what the science of reciprocity actually means. But like I said, it's not, and Blessing already said it, it's not limited to financial reciprocity alone. People only think it's only money you can give. You can give opportunities to someone, resources, support, help. In the book I talked about the other time, The Go Giver, like it was actually focused, he wanted to get a deal that will actually make his company not sack him. But then his competitor was already like outdoing him. And he was just like, he doesn't know what will happen again. But he was focused on that. But then he now learned this principle of giving. So all of a sudden, an opportunity now came to him, but he was not available to do it. Generally, if he was the former go-getter, he won't want his opponent to get it. But because he learned this principle, he offered that new client to his opponent. And by the time the thing will happen, after about 3 days, the opponent also saw someone even bigger than what they've ever like encountered, and he offered that same client to him, someone else, and that's how he got everything he wanted. So that's it. Once you give to someone, you get back. That's just what I'm trying to talk. So connections, opportunity. Now moving to the connection between stinginess and poverty. Like I said, It's just like inversing everything we said before. They are like inversely proportional. Stinginess is an unwillingness to give, and it is a significant barrier to well-being. In the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, it's a very old author. He asserts that a mindset of scarcity and stinginess is a roadblock to financial success. When individuals hold their wealth and are reluctant to share, they often create a scarcity mentality. This mindset can lead to missed opportunities and hinders one's ability to attract abundance. So by holding on to their resources too tightly, they inadvertently limit their potential for wealth creation. I was at a conference today before coming back here, and that was the same thing the speaker was talking about. Some people are not just even stingy to people, they are stingy to themselves. Some people cannot invest in themselves, they can't even buy books for themselves. And if you can't buy books that will like show you better ways to make money, then you will remain stuck in what you are, and you spend the money on frivolous things, and you will even progress. So people that are stingy, that are miserly, they don't actually, because they can't even invest in themselves, they can't invest in opportunities that will make money, because they always think the whole world is out to get from them. They're always about what's in it for me, what they will get. And you can never, there's a limit you can't get it. And there's a difference between rich and being wealthy. A stingy person can be rich, but he can never be wealthy. And if you are rich, you can become poor in the twinkle of an eye. But a wealthy person has connections that even no matter how bad the economy is, just a call, just an opportunity will take him back there. So yes, there's always this connection between stinginess and poverty. Napoleon Hill, in his classic book, there's a lot of books here, Think and Grow Rich, it discusses the concept of the law of circulation. There's a law called the law of circulation. I'm talking about several laws today. This law states that money must keep moving and circulating to create wealth. When money is ordered or stagnant, it loses potential for growth. That's why they say, now, even beyond that science of there's a connection between stinginess and poverty. Let's look, for example, into what is happening right now. If you have 1 million naira about last month, the value of that 1 million naira that you kept in your home without investing, without doing anything with it, is now worth maybe 600,000 or 700,000 right now. I don't know if you're getting it. That's just it's in practical term. But if you've invested that stuff in something else, or you even give it to charity, or you just use it to do something meaningful, or you've invested in dollars, for example, now, the money, that 1 million naira cannot be what was it maybe 1.5 or 1.3 now. So that's just in practical terms, people that all their money that actually stagnates, because money is something they used to call the volatile thing. It's not stable. So it has to be in circulation for it, like, which is the value. So once your money is ordered or stagnant, it's not just the money, it's your opportunity. I don't know why everything is just aligning. I was reading a devotional this morning too, talking about helping people. It said what you have, the opportunity you have, the wisdom you have, the potentials you have, they are not just for you, they are for people. You have to share it. Once you don't share this thing, it's actually gets wasted. And even you yourself, you won't be able to like reach the potential you are to reach, because you don't share it with people. And this is also something I think they call it the science with entropy. What you don't use, it destroys. Once you don't use a portion of your brain, once you don't learn to think, your brain power gets limited. If you don't work, I don't know. They used to call it, I'm not a science student, but then there's something called it will entropy or something like that. If you don't use it. So it's just like money. Anything you don't use. So if you are stingy with it, it's actually decreasing. That's the economics law called the law of diminishing returns. Like this is diminished. That's just life. But once you use it, once you put it out there, it's working for you. You can see that all these money principles are actually connected. Anybody that has been in this meeting since we started the financial literacy series, you'll be seeing some principles that are just connected. So that means these things are not just mere essays, they're not just temporary. They are things that actually works. They have been working since the beginning of time, and they are currently working now. These are principles, universal principles. So charity is actually a way to build the world. So the act of giving keeps financial energy in motion, and it attracts more wealth and opportunities. That's it. So the fulfillment of purpose, I know Blessing actually highlighted and some of the advantages of philanthropy too. There's the book by Viktor E. Frank, Man's Search for Meaning. He argues that a sense of purpose and meaning is essential for a fulfilling life. So philanthropy actually provides individual with a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. When you use your resources to make a positive impact on the lives of others, You find meaning in your actions. Before I even go to the example I have, the example of Andrew Carnegie, I know Blessing mentioned that when she was presenting. You see, I should go back to my example, my practical experience I had just Wednesday and Thursday. Every single day after even if I have my to-do list, maybe most times I will able to do 5 out of the almost unending things I have on my to-do list. But no matter how, even if I should do about 7 out of the 12 things, I will still kind of feel angry that I didn't maximize my day. I am still like lagging behind in something. But that particular day on Wednesday, when I didn't even maybe I only did 2 things on my to-do list, but I actually dedicated my day towards helping that lady. There was also someone else I helped that day. Like, it took almost the whole of my day. But I felt more fulfilled, more happy that day than I felt the other days when I've actually been focusing on just my own business. I don't know if you are getting it. These things actually work. So you feel beyond money to actually help, because what is not actually about money. It's also it makes you fulfill your purpose. You see, there's this point they used to say where every woman has. If you don't have purpose, you distract yourself. So purpose is actually, I don't know, I know helping people might not be, everybody has to help person. But I'm not talking about that. But then you feel this genuine happiness in you. Like, I was really happy. Even I was not even angry that I wasted my day, because I just felt what I did actually add value. Like, I couldn't quantify the joy in my heart when the person told me the proposal I helped I did and had something got approved. So it means if you help people, you actually feel this profound sense of fulfillment within yourself. Now, talking about Andrew Carnegie now, he's like the Elon Musk of the last 18th or 19th century. He's called the Steel King. Like, he revolutionized the American then. He said he will spend the first half of his life. I don't know. I think he used over 100 years. But the first few years of his life, he used it to amass wealth. It was just like making money. He became the richest person. Then the remaining 50 years of his life, after he made that, when he became a billionaire, said he just used that to give it out. All the money he made, he just gave it out. I think Blessing was saying he created libraries, this is the same thing the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, every of them. There's this one, I couldn't save the person. I think I was surfing through, was it Instagram or Facebook last time? I just saw the picture of a very old man. The Forbes, it was on Forbes before, it was what about 12 billionaire? It was not like 98 years old. He said they should not give any of his money to his children or anything. He said he should give everything to charity, that he wants to die penniless with nothing to his name. Like, he said that as well, like, it feels fulfilling giving all this money away. So that's why they used to say money don't buy happiness. But giving money away might buy happiness though. So most of these billionaires, even though they say money, they will get their money and give it out to people. So there's also another thing here, the power of networking. This is also talking about, I think I've talked about this, but then Dale Carnegie, in his timeless book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, emphasizes the importance of building meaningful relationships. And philanthropy can serve as a powerful tool for networking and relationship building. You see, I was reading this book, I think that was 2 months ago, by Alex Omosi. I don't know, 100 million of us. He said, I think it was Van Damme that was organizing the charity. It was just a charity event. In a real sense, a charity event. But there's an inner circle, that is, there's a network that you make after the charity event. And not everybody can actually enter that network, except you give to charity. So he said he donated about, was it $100,000 to the charity that day, to Van Damme, was it Van Damme? Yeah, Van Damme charity. Immediately donated that money. The owner of the person organizing the charity noticed him and walked up to him. They were collected his number and they networked together. And he gave him opportunities worth more than $100,000 he donated. Said through the Van Damme, he had made about millions of dollars. So that's just like, when you donate, when you give to charity, it actually helps, especially for people, because rich people like rich people. What people move are like. So one of the attributes of successful or rich persons is charity. So once you see this, he saw this, you donated $100,000, because it's something just not anybody can do. It's only something that, only a refined mind, someone that actually knows the power of abundance can just donate, I give this $100,000 to charity. So he said through that philanthropy he did, he was able to make relationship. If you read the book I recommended earlier, The Go Giver, you also see this things there. Like, most of the people, they made their network, they made the connections, people that could actually help them through charity. Yeah, I know we don't have the $100,000 there, but you just giving your energy, volunteering for events, just helping people. For example, now, let me use another personal example. I've been volunteering for the Vanguard Africa, right? Generally, I'm not, yeah, I might meet him in the future. There's this guy, he's a lawyer, he's not a joke guy. I admire a lot. His name is Destiny Ogenegbe. Generally, I won't have met him on my own. But through volunteering actually for the Vanguard Africa, I've actually, like, I think I moderated the session where he was to speak. I don't know, that's the practical example. Through you giving, just helping people generally, like what you want actually just come back to you. If you don't take anything else from this session we are taking, I think that's just the most fundamental thing you have to take. So philanthropy, actually, we're not just talking about money. I know we are going beyond money now. It's just going about life generally. So when you engage in these acts, you connect with like-minded individuals who share your values and vision. So you don't have the money to give, but when you start working and you have the money to give, remember this. It can just be your time, your energy, anything you have, just give to people. Then I think I've talked about the psychological benefits of giving actually. That was when I was explaining I felt really happy. Like that was one of the happiest days of this week. Just helping person. I had a lot to do, but then just helping someone is actually like gave me more. The return on investment of that energy was even more better than the one when I have like invested that time in myself. So when you engage in philanthropy, you experience a sense of happiness, satisfaction, and reduce stress. Anytime I come back home from school, I was always stressed. But then that particular day, I was just like really happy. So I don't know. That means when all these billionaires, they give that 10 billion to charity, there's this sense of happiness they get from it. Because I only did a little thing for someone and I felt that happy that day. So I don't know, you can just try it. Any amount, just anything you can do to help person, just help it. I don't know, when they were talking about how to like manage mental health and depression, so it's one of the things, just helping people. And also the legacy of feeling giving. That's another principle here. In The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, that's another book. The author highlights the significance of living a meaningful legacy. I think I will explain that. The billionaire that died penniless now, even when he dies, like everybody might have forgotten him, but the whole world will remember him that, oh, is this man that made $1 billion and he gave everything. Like it's a legacy that will always like transcend time. Andrew Carnegie has been dead for about maybe 100 years now, but we are mentioning him now because he gave all his wealth away after he made all the money. So it's a legacy of giving. Elon Musk's name cannot be like erased from history because he has been given to the society. That's just it. Once you give to people, a legacy is created from you. That's it. So practical examples and introduction. I know Blessing has mentioned this already. We have Bill Gates. Bill Gates is the room. We know Bill Gates. They have this Bill and Melinda Gates with his wife. It's one of the world's largest private charitable foundations. They always give to people. Warren Buffett also is one of the most, and he doesn't have his own personal foundation, but he's always donating to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Then we have Jeff Bezos too. He also has the Bezos Earth Fund. But Jeff Bezos' own charity is about saving the earth. That's the Bezos Earth Fund. All this, and he pledged $10 billion to combat climate change. That's showing that these billionaires give to charity. We also have Mark Zuckerberg, that is Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook. He also has the Shan Zuckerberg Initiative. We have like this thing, that's the co-founder. Like there are a lot of billionaires. Almost you can't see any billionaire. I think Blessing brought it on the local ones. We have Tony Elimelu, the Dangote, Following Alakija. I was at Ajay Kreda, I think 2 years ago. Like if you see this big building that's Following Alakija built for the school, it's like these billionaires, they find joy in giving to people. And they used to say, if you want to become like a rich person, someone you admire, you just have to do what they do. So you might not start big now, but like I said, just a little time, a little bit of your time, your energy, your listening, help to people actually will actually count a lot. I think time is almost fast going, so I'll be concluding now. So in conclusion, the role of philanthropy in world building is deeply rooted in principles. As you can see, I've given several principles. I don't know if they are paying attention. I've mentioned countless of principles, countless of books. I've alluded to the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran. Like it's just a principle. Like the Bible used to say that the world has been since the beginning of time. So if the world has been since the beginning of time, and the world is now like talking about philanthropy, that means philanthropy is something that has been since the beginning of time, and it's the surest way to wealth. It's not just about don't give because you know that you get back. Yes, certainly you get back, but just give because you want to give, and just like it will come back to you. So the connection between philanthropy and world building is evidence in the principles of abundance. I've mentioned abundance, reciprocity, the ripple effect of generosity. I'm trying to do a recap of what I said, and the science of reciprocity. So by engaging in philanthropy, you not only benefits from others, but you also attract opportunities and resources that will contribute to your own success. So conversely, like I said, just like inverse one, stinginess and scarcity mentality can hinder world building by limiting opportunities and causing social and psychological consequences. So philanthropy actually gives you a sense of purpose. I talk about that. It fosters networking and it offers you numerous psychological benefits. So I'll be ending with this. In the grand tapestry of life, the role of philanthropy is a thread that weaves together. I don't know if you can write this down. Please, let me start again. In the grand tapestry of life, the role of philanthropy is a thread that weaves together wealth building, happiness, fulfillment, and a profound sense of meaning. So that's through philanthropy, you have wealth, you have happiness, you have fulfillment, and a profound sense of meaning. So by embracing the principles of giving, we not only enrich our own life, but we also contribute to the betterment of society, thereby unlocking the hidden connection between philanthropy and prosperity. I think that will be the end of my presentation. I don't know if there are questions in the chat box. If we have any question, we can actually ask. We only have 2 minutes before the end of the. So if we have questions, we can actually take them now. I know Van Blessing will be ready to drop on questions. And even if there are any questions, I'll be looking forward to take that now. Okay. What about mantra? Thank you. Thank you.
My hand is also.
Okay. Ma, you have the floor, Ma. You can talk, Ma.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Blessing. That was a very insightful session, and I've learned a whole lot. I just want to add a few more points to what they have said. So I'm just trying to buttress the points, right? So I'm not saying anything to deviate from what they have said. And, I like the presentation because it covers everything, every single aspect of it, the sowing, the reaping, how it's connected, how philanthropy is connected to, a sense of purpose. Those are very profound insights that it's very good for us to have at this stage, at this level of our lives. So, but just to add, and I think Tobiloba mentioned it when he was about to conclude. He said that that it is not the person that you do something for that will necessarily repay you, but just know that you will be repaid, and do what you want to do, not even because you're expecting something in return, because a lot of people fall into that pit. They are doing something because they are expecting someone else, or they are expecting that same person, and that's why you hear things like, after everything I've done for her, after everything I've done for him, I don't expect him to have done this. Or we begin to build expectations from people because we have done something for them. And this is a small thing. I expect that he would have done this thing. Why? Because you feel entitled. You feel, despite all the things I've done, this person should be able to do this small thing for me. But, I just want to emphasize the point that Toby made, that you reap what you sow, not where you sow. And I want this to be part of what we will take home. And if you can hear me and you follow me, you can put it in the chat box. You reap what you sow and not where you sow. Don't place burdens on people, or don't have unnecessary expectations from people because of something you have done for them. And whether what you have done for them is little or big, nobody owes you anything. Just do what you want to do and move on. Move on. We have to be very intentional, because naturally we want to be attached to somebody we have done something for, and some of us even like to, you want to keep close to the person you are doing something for, because you know that, oh, anytime I need this person, once I just call him, he will answer me. Why? Because I'm a stakeholder in their lives. No, people will do well in life whether you help them or not. This is the right mindset that we should have, when we are approaching giving. Do you understand? People will do well in life. Everybody will get to where they are going, whether you help them or not. But it is a privilege for you to be part of their journeys. If you can write that in the chat box, so I'll be very grateful. People will get to where they are going in life. There is nobody that will not make it without you. That, oh, if this person is not there, or if I'm not in this person's life, this person will not. No, it's only God. Whether you help them or not, thank you. Whether you help people or not, they will make it. They will do well. Even if they are the poorest in your class, they will do well. So you should see it as a privilege to be able to be part of their journeys, to be able to help them. Do you get? Because ultimately it is God that is responsible for each and every individual on planet Earth. And so God can use you if you are yielded, if you assimilated everything we have taught you today. God can also, you can be an instrument in the hands of God, to be a channel to blessing people, right? You can be, and whoever is used as a channel would also enjoy abundance. Do you understand? So it is a privilege that God is working through you to someone else. You should not take the glory or now become God in their lives, telling them what to do, because I know what happens in student environment. Before you know, because you are paying somebody's ticket to school and you are giving them your food, you start telling them what to do and what not to do. You don't have that right. Do you understand? It's a privilege to serve people. It's a privilege to help people. And don't feel burdened. Don't carry the problem of people on your head. Do what you can in the sincerest way. Do you understand? So because we have taught you about film, I'm trying to balance these things and giving you the right approach to it. And this is what wisdom will teach you. This is what maturity will teach you. Yes, you have to, but you cannot imagine giving every beggar on the road money because, oh, you have a good heart, because philanthropy leads to wealth building, So you cannot possibly help everybody, even your closest friends, your family members that are in need. You cannot carry all your savings and go and give them. Do you understand? So that's where, wisdom sets in. Do what you can. What bit can you do? If someone calls you to say, can you borrow me 20K? You may have 50K in your account, but if you send 20K to that person and the person does not return it, it will pain you. Do you get? So give the person maybe 3K or 5K, send to the person. This is what I can afford, though. If the person now says, oh, I want to return it, send me your account, you can now decide to say, no, don't worry, I gave you. That one, everybody goes, everybody's fine. But if you now go and borrow somebody 25K out of the 50K you have in heaven and earth, and the person does not now return it, or the person is returning it 2K per week, and spoils the money, it will pay you. So you don't want to be bitter in the process of helping people. So please, I also want you to write it in the chat box. Don't get bitter in the process of helping people. Don't put yourself in a position where you get bitter because you are helping somebody. Make sure you protect yourself, protect your heart, because even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Do you see? So you should not be helping people, because some of us, we just want to be saved. We like to play savior in the lives of people, and because of that, there's so much expectation. They are not matching up to that expectation. You are pained. You don't want to tell them. You are pained. You are carrying all their problem, and you feel like because you are carrying all their problem, they should be able to do something. No, nobody owes you anything. And I was going to say that we are channels, right? Because when God puts something in your hand, so there's a principle that I work with. I feel bad when something comes into my hand and I spend everything. I don't know if it's It's a principle that, and it has always worked for me. So I go home, during break, and my parents get me groceries, toiletries, and stuff. When I get back to school, I try to take, so if I have a pack of tissue paper, I'll take 1 or 2 out of, it's always 6 in the pack. I'll take 1 or 2, out of maybe 3 rows of milk, sachet milk, I'll take 5, out of my meal, so I'll take another 5 sachet. I'll take, I'll just pick things randomly, a little portion out of what I have, and go and drop it to some of my colleagues. And you know what? You never know how you get, some people will never even remember that you have done something for them. Some people will even think, what's the big deal there? What have you done? You also find people who will be very grateful, and in their entire life, they will not forget you. But there are some people that will forget. So in fact, somebody you have helped before, 5 years down the line, can block you from their WhatsApp. You didn't do anything, you didn't offend them, they just block you. People are funny like that, interesting like that. And that's why we must not get bitter in the process of helping people. Do we get? Don't. Make sure you protect your heart. Do what you can and try as much as possible to do it for as many people. But make sure that you don't hurt yourself in the process. And now people who see themselves as channels, and they, out of everything that comes to them, they give out a part of it. Those kind of people hardly lack, because when something is a pipe, for example, a pipe through which you pass water, and the pipe is not blocked, won't you always use the pipe to pass water through something or through to something? Do you understand? So a channel never really gets dry. There's always supply into a channel so that channel can supply other things. So if God sees your heart, and that's why I like how blessing started, that sometimes it just starts from your heart. How willing are you? It starts from your heart. It starts from a desire. When God sees that, he will put resources into your hands, because he knows that if it gets to you, it will get to other people. So we can also put it in the chat box. God knows that if he gets resources into my hands, those resources will get to other people. God knows that if resources gets into your hands, that resource, can get to other people. So if God sees that kind of mindset, which is a wonderful mind to have, God will keep putting resources into your hands. Something else I've also realized is that when I share something that I know with people, I tend to know more in the process of sharing. I don't know if there's someone else that has that experience too. You have read something, you're not even sure if you understand it or not. And somebody now says, please, can you explain this thing to me? And in the process of sharing what you know, sharing out of your wisdom, you find out that you are getting more, you know more. So it's a principle of life, just as Toby has said. It's a life principle. Give and it shall be given to you. Whatever it is that you want if there's something you need today, start giving it to people. If you want emotional help, give emotional help to people. If you want support, start supporting people. If you want money, the little you have, give somebody, and you will find out that those things will come back to you. So and I have a lot of people who are wealthy, even unbelievers that are wealthy, they know this principle, and that's why they never joke with giving. Never. And I like that. That's why I said Toby and Blessing did justice to this stuff, because they touched on, those billionaires, and wealthy people that we know. I like how they also differentiated between rich and wealthy, because people who are really wealthy, they do philanthropy on a large scale. Oprah Winfrey is the richest Black woman on earth as of today. And if you check, she has diverse means through which she does philanthropy. It is a principle. So if you see yourself as a billionaire in the future, you need to have that mindset, and you have to begin to exercise it from today. Whatever comes to your hand, give God back something. And that's the old concept of tithe. Give God something in return, and if you get, I'm sure a lot of us have experienced this thing. There was a day I wanted to drop offering in church, and how much did I even have? I don't even know what came over me. I'm trying to remember, because it was law school and I didn't have so much in law school. I don't know if it was 1K or 10K that I dropped as offering, and it was just something that my spirit just nudged me to do it, and I didn't even think twice. I just sent the money. And during that week was my birthday. But before my birthday, an uncle that we have not spoken in a while just reached out to me to say, oh, I sent something into your account. And what he sent was 10 times what I dropped as offering, and I've had that experience a lot of times. Even help, so see, sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you don't know what to do, but because you have helped some people in the past, somebody will stand up in that time of need for you, and the person will provide support that you need. In fact, sometimes you don't know you need help, but because you have helped people, a lot of people in the past, somebody will stand up in your own time of trouble to provide help to you. So sometimes your reward will come like Toby's own immediately. But sometimes it is storing in the future. Sometimes it is even your children or children's children that will enjoy this benefit. So either ways, you don't lose, head or tail, you still win. You still get the reward, right? So it is extremely important. Now, something else I want to say is that I want to also adumbrate on the point around, please let me know if you can still hear me and if you are following me. I also want to adumbrate on the point around purpose. Thank you. Are you feeling me?
Yes, I'm feeling you, my idol.
Thank you. So there's something else about purpose. You see, a lot of people are really stingy in life. I don't know if you have met stingy people. I know you know some people that they will come to your life because they want to get so. I have friends like that. We were friends in school because they thought I was intelligent, and so they had something. They wanted to learn my diligence, my work ethics, and everything. They were close to me, and now they are no more friends with me. Why? Because they feel I don't need something from her, which is the mistake a lot of people make. So if you are someone who gets close to people because of what you can get, what you want to get, you are setting up yourself for a low life. Nobody is saying you will not make it, or you will make it, but it can never be compared to the way someone that is invested in helping other people. You cannot compare it. Do you understand? Because the person is getting rewards from different sources. And the person is getting help in diverse ways when they need those help. So what am I trying to say? Don't be someone that gets close to people because of what you can get from them. Even the Bible says it is more blessed to give than to receive. So make sure you are always in a position of giving, and make sure you reduce receiving. It's a very powerful principle. And if you can learn it, you are setting up yourself for a life of abundance. So a lot of people, they are so focused on themselves and their ambitions, right? Now, those friends that I told you that they were my friends in school, when I had not, gotten the kind of job I have now, they were like, they did not really relate with me because what do I need from her? Now, few months ago, some of them reached out to me. Debola, I even want to apply to your firm. Please, can you help me? I can never be friends with people like that. Never. Because you have shown me that you're not a loyal person. We were in school, you were close to me because you needed something. Now, you want to get employment in my firm too. You want to be close to me because you want to get something. I just hope that if we have people like that on this call today, those people will go and have a change of mind. It is a wrong attitude. In fact, I know I've taught in one of our sessions in the village meeting here that one of the ways to get to the heart of a mentor is to help them achieve something, is to give them something, get gifts for them. Even the Bible says, I'm sorry, I'm quoting Bible a lot because I'm a Christian. That's why I'm familiar with that the gift of a man will pave way to him. Mitchell, during our masterclass, even mentioned it, that your gift will pave way for you, right? So always make sure you are at the giving end, not at the receiving end. Yorubas will say, okay, Lowa Funingbe. So we have touched on Christianity, on Islam, different religion, even unbelievers and believers that are wealthy, even Yoruba adage, everything buttresses the fact that you have to position yourself as a giver. And don't think, what do I have? How much is my pocket money? That 10 naira, buy water and give somebody. There are times you go for a party and you are drinking bottled water and somebody comes to meet you that and say, "Fumilomi, give them the water." Right? If it is to pay somebody's transport fare, 150 from Agor Garage to PS, make sure you do it. Right? Because it goes a long way. It is not in the quantity of what you give, it is the heart that matters and the consistency of it that matters, right? So there's a strong sense of purpose when you give. You feel more, you feel happier, you feel more fulfilled, just like Toby described. Even if you are not able to achieve so much for yourself in a day, the fact that you could contribute something to somebody's life makes you more fulfilled as an individual. So there's a strong sense of purpose that is tied towards your philanthropy. And it is not just money that you can give. You can give your time, you can give your support, your advice. Sometimes it's physical effort. Somebody needs to get something, the person is sick or tired. Just help them collect the money and help them get it. It's still part of philanthropy, because a time will come that you also need somebody to help you do something, and you would find people around you to do it for you. So that's just the way life works. And don't wait until, you are a very ambitious person, you want to make it first. Because that's a mistake a lot of adults make. They wait until they have made it before they now start thinking, what can I give back to my society? It's already too late. Nigeria, as of today, cannot wait. The state that we are in Nigeria is too dare a situation for everybody to be waiting till they make it before they start giving back to the society. Imagine if we didn't start Vanguard Africa 3 years ago. Imagine how many lives that have been impacted that would not have been impacted if I was waiting for, let me have millions and billions in my account so that we will now start doing what, at what age? So a lot of people focus too much on their ambitions, what they can get, and 15 years down the line, 60 years, they now begin to think, they feel that emptiness. They have the money now, but there's no sense of purpose. They don't feel happy. Why? Because they look all around their lives and it's just all about them and their families. They've not done anything to change the life of someone else. And they begin to feel that sense of emptiness, So it's a life worth living is one that is lived impacting other people. Do we see? A life worth living that you'll be happy about, is the one that you live in order to impact the lives of other people, whose life is getting better because of you, who is smiling because of you, whose life is made easier because of you. What kind of impact do you have in your class, in your community, amongst your friends? And even in heaven, there's always reward for people who give something, because our lives, when we talk about purpose is not what you do to become big or what you do to become successful. Purpose is what you do for people. And that's why everybody say, what's your purpose? If you want to know yourself, know your purpose. Do you see? So what you do for other people is really what, I'm sure by the time we check the life of Muhammad, he didn't come for his own life. He came for the lives of other people, right? Jesus Christ didn't come for himself. He came for other people. So the biggest and greatest persons on earth did not live for themselves. So the earlier we understand this, the better for us, right? And lastly, the last point I want to make, apologies for taking our time. The last point I want to make is that nations that are doing well on this earth are philanthropic nations. How would I even say this? So I know that there's a lot of universities in the US, in the UK, at least let's use those two as examples, right? That they give scholarships to people from all over the world. Now, it is not it is not every time. Oh, I'm not saying every student that gains admission into those universities gets scholarship, but there's a lot of scholarship for a lot of, and you don't want to know how many students get admission on a scholarship basis every year. Now, beyond that, they have fellowships, they have, there are several organizations that they'll just say, you know what, if you're an African, you are from Asia, you are from this, just apply for this program. We will sponsor your this, we'll sponsor your that, we'll train you about, and there's a lot of programs like that in the US and in the UK, for example. How would those kind of countries be third world? How would they be underdeveloped? So as this principle applies on a personal level, it also applies on a national level. When last did Nigeria donate something to another country? Are there free initiatives, things that Nigeria as a nation has done to impact other nations? So why are we surprised that we are where we are, when we don't have the mindset as a nation to give back to other nations? Are we not supposed to be, as a nation, lending to other nations? Are we not supposed to be forgiving the debts of other nations? Do you see? So this is also the more reason why people like us on this call cannot wait until we make it before we begin to make impact in our community, because it is what we begin to do from now that would impact, or that would determine the kind of nation that we will build in the next 5 to 10 years. Do you understand? So imagine that Blessing becomes minister, Toby becomes president, Noah becomes, another minister. There's, Mayowa on this call is governor somewhere. Femi is also governor in another state. And you have meetings together, and you say, you know what, Nigeria, yes, we know we are in need, but Nigeria is going to donate so amount to China, to this, to Bangladesh, Somalia, those countries that are having issues. And see if God will not now bless Nigeria as a nation. So this is how we should be thinking individually and even as a nation. Philanthropy is at the very heart of God. And people who do philanthropy are also in the will of God. And people like that, God will commit resources into their hands so that he can, through them, reach a lot more people, right? So I hope that it's been value for our time and that we have learned one or two things from the conversation today. Some people dropped questions in the chat box, so I'll just yield the floor to Toby and Blessing to answer those questions so we can round off. Thank you.
I can't see any questions from my own end. I don't know. There are no questions here.
Oh, I actually saw some questions.
No, there are no questions. They are just writing those hard principles to jobs.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right then.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll just read the mantra, or TV mantra. You don't need to unmute your mic, just read after me. So the TV mantra: at the Vanguard Africa, we promote transformational leadership in every sphere of influence. Our leaders are well-rounded, adequately built, and exceptionally equipped to excel in every leadership they are interested with. We dream upwards, invent new strategies, and deploy exemplary wisdom in our affairs. We have more than enough human and capital resources to inspire, build, and equip the next generation of leaders in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Our dreams shall not die, our vision shall not fade, our hope shall not be dashed, our strength shall not wane. With God, we are excellent personalities, leadership models, and organizational catalysts, bringing order into everything we step into. Amen. I think, yes. Thank you very much. It's such a wonderful thing. Yeah, I learned so much today. I'm very sure you learned too. But beyond learning, the true goal of real learning is when we practice. So I don't know if we read the book. I think I typed the title already in our meeting group. I'll be sending the book from my system to my phone to forward to the group. If we read the Go Giver book, I think one of the principles there was that anything you learn, you must apply it immediately that day. If you read through the story of the person, when I send the book, he always apply every of those principles he learned. So I don't know. It's not really, this is just 526. You can just look for anybody you can help, just something you can do to a person. Maybe your time just costs someone to hear from them, or if there is someone you just feel you can do something for. That's how it starts from little things. Any little thing you feel you can, because I feel that the fundamental goal, we have to take action. So I don't know any little person you just feel you can reach out to, any little help you can do. Please, nothing is actually too small. So just do that today. And I wish us a very wonderful weekend. Then our closing prayer, I'll just take that. Our gracious Father, we bless you for all we have learned in the course of today's village meeting. We ask that you tremendously allow us to increase in influence, wisdom, and in our career. We also this issue to help us, to give us the grace to be able to apply diligently what we have learned today, and to enable us to do philanthropy selflessly. In just my name, I've prayed. Amen. Thank you very much. You can all leave the meeting now.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.